I'm Gabby Lamb, and you are listening to Tea Time, where we talk about the nastiest, naughtiest, wildest, dirtiest secrets. Enjoy. What's up, guys? Well, I think this is the 12th episode. Yes, today's the 12th episode of Tea Time. I am your host, Gabby Lamb, and this is a podcast where we spill anonymous and juicy tea. You guys send in your secrets and your stories. I read them and give a little bit of my own thoughts, tell my own stories. You know the fucking deal. I'm very excited. We're in this lovely studio now. It is too professional, and we have my gorgeous producer, Lee. Lee, what's up?
Oh, not much. Hanging out.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so here we are. It's fucking great. I'm excited. And I got a lot of really good stories this week. And I'm gonna try and not say and a lot. I just said and a lot of times. What is going on with me? I'm going to Portland tomorrow for the weekend. Thursday to Monday. I'm going to be with Felipe Esparza at the Portland Helium. This is my first time going to Portland. I've heard the food is really good, and there's a really big heroin homeless youth there. So looking forward to seeing and doing all of these things. Big heroin, lots of heroin where I grew up. A lot of heroin. I thought
Same.
a lot of heroin.
A lot of heroin. Yeah.
Really, I for sure thought that I would like. I'm from Oceanside, which is California, is like San Diego adjacent. And I for sure thought they were more of like a meth city, but no, I think there's more heroin. And you're from the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm from the East Coast.
More heroin over there.
A lot of heroin.
Meth is like middle America, huh?
Yeah, it just hit the East Coast.
Meth did, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Within the last couple of years.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I dabbled a little bit.
You dabbled a little bit?
Yeah.
You did meth?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've done it all.
Oh, really?
All the things. Yeah.
Did you shoot heroin?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's so scary.
Yeah,
I could never get into that side of shit.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it myself. A really great friend of mine.
Really great friend of yours.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did it
good
for
friend.
you.
Yeah.
He, she.
Yeah.
He.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so good.
Yeah, and then I got like a half-assed amends call, like a year later.
A what?
Like a half-assed amends call. Like he
amends. Oh,
yeah,
like a
yeah.
12-step.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
he like went back to rehab and like called me and just was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good, dude." And I was like waiting for it. He's like, "All right, well, cool, later."
Really?
Yeah.
So he couldn't even fully make his amends with you?
No, not really, no.
So for those of you who don't know, in 12-step, which I will out myself, I am a big 12-stepper. I'm an AA girl. I'm an SLAA girl, which is Sex, Love, Addicts Anonymous. I'm in all of them. I don't give a shit. I'll talk about all the 12 steps for the rest of my fucking life.
Same,
yeah,
by the way.
You're a 12-stepper.
Yes.
Love talking openly about program. But for those of you who are not familiar, in the 12 steps, I think the 9th step is amends.
I think so.
So you have this thing called the 4th step where it's like you go through and you make a searching and moral inventory of everybody in your life that you have resentment towards, right? And so you go through and you write out this list of every single person that you have shit with. And then you write out like the most petty things that you don't like about them. Like they did this to me, they said this to me. And then you have a sponsor that helps you recognize your part in every resentment that you have towards somebody, because we feel mighty justified in the anger that we have towards people, like, oh, this person wronged me, so fuck them forever. I'm allowed to be angry. And like the thing is that you're not. I mean, you can be as angry as you want at anybody for the rest of your life, but it's not. The point of the 12 steps is to help you forgive other people so you can forgive yourself and ultimately live like a freer and more humbled life. And you get right when you say,
yeah, through you learn self-forgiveness through seeking forgiveness.
Right.
And it's not even really about forgiveness. It's about owning up to the mental state that you were in.
Yes. Yeah. Taking responsibility for yourself, your actions, and realizing that you play a part in every resentment that you have. Because you do. Even if somebody the only time that you don't, which I've heard, in 12 step, the only time that you don't play a part is when you are like sexually assaulted or like physically taken advantage of. But where you play a part in that is how you decide to carry it on for the rest of your life. Like, do you want to keep living in like the wounded state or do you want to like move on? And we get as human beings, we do get very married to our emotional states of being, because like if something traumatic happens, I don't even know why I'm on this right now,
No, I
but
like it. Yeah.
so yeah, we get like, we like have these traumatic things that happen to us and we like live our lives kind of being defined by that, and people really love like living in that narrative like, well, this person hurt me when I was little, so I am this person now because of that. And it's like, no, we have the
Oh, I have that 100%.
right.
Yeah.
And so in a ninth step, an amends is somebody comes to you, somebody that has like that has caused like damage to you in some way, or somebody that like I would have to make it. I don't know who I have to make an amends with yet. I'm not at my ninth step, but eventually, like I'll get there and I'll have to call up some people and be like, "Hey, I'm really sorry for treating you like this. Hey, I'm really sorry for acting like this or like not being there for you when you needed."
I've made a couple.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've heard it's really fucking liberating.
It is.
So
First one
scary.
I made, the first one I made was like a big one, and it, it, it felt selfish to do. It was with an ex, and it was like, and it felt really
Ah,
selfish to do. And then I talked to my sponsor after, but since then I made like a couple more that felt really right, and it was like, listen, I was in a bad headspace, and it's not about seeking forgiveness, it's
right.
about admitting you're wrong.
Right, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah, and so I think on that first one I was seeking forgiveness a little bit, and that's what threw it off.
It's difficult. It's a weird thing with exes because they say that sometimes, especially with exes, you have to kind of make a living amends where maybe you don't ever reach out to that person because you don't want to stir up old feelings that don't necessarily need to be like brought to the surface again. Right. So it's like you would make a living amends by like not treating that person, like treating people a certain
Well, a
way.
living amends is with a dead person.
No.
I think that's what a living amends is. I think just a regular amends is with just anybody, like if I wronged you, to make an amends to you.
But living amends for the way that it's been described to me through my sponsors has been like if like I hurt an ex or if I like was a part of like cheating or something,
Okay.
maybe the best thing to do is not to call them. And the way that I can make like a living amends is to
Oh,
not repeat the behavior that I would have in that.
sure.
So that's like what
I
I've
like that. Yeah.
I've been told that a living amends is that you just live in a different way than you did
I
then.
have actually noticed that program between East and West Coast
Uh-huh.
has slightly different definitions.
Oh, interesting. Well, maybe that's yeah.
I have noticed that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and the meetings operate in have a bit of a different pattern to them.
Really?
Yeah,
Which ones
yeah.
do you like more?
I like West Coast meetings a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
I do. I love 12 step here. It's also very much like a cool guy club though too. Like in the entertainment industry, there's so many sober people. So you go into the rooms and you see like famous people and you're like, oh wow. It's also like a weird networking thing, but like that's not why people are there, which sounds like gross to say, but
Yeah.
there's a lot going on in those rooms. But no, it's fine. There's a cat here. He's very cute.
Yeah.
There he is. He's very, very cute. Um, oh, thank you.
Dude,
I've got cats. This is what they do. Um, but yeah, so that's interesting that your sponsor told you to call the ex.
I went there. I went to her new house.
Oh,
Yeah. My sponsor wanted me to, I feel like this is on me a lot, but my sponsor wanted me to didn't want me to use the phone. He only wanted me to like make in person.
really? Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That a lot of sponsors do. I think want that like you set aside time to go meet somebody in real life if you can.
Yeah.
It's interesting. 12 step. I mean, I think that it is so useful for like anybody. I think it should something that should be fucking taught, in school. There's so much to
I think
gain in 12 step. I mean, come
yeah.
on. It keeps you welcome Dutch. Dutch is the cat. Um it just keeps you, what is the word I'm looking for? Self-aware and kind of
Well,
like,
this is a good topic though. So then it's like, but doesn't 12 step only work after you did some living? After you kind of
have you
ha-
made your
have
mistakes?
some mistakes to own up to?
Yeah. Well, I yes, yes, but I also think there are like things in 12-step programs that could be even before like you've fucking wronged people and become like you're already like a drug addict in recovery. I think there are like really good lessons in it that could be taught. Like I think practicing like self-forgiveness is something that we need to be, focused on a little bit more, and there are a lot of things in the steps that like are like centered around like, forgiveness and humility and admitting your wrongs and having more compassion for other people, and I think that that could be integrated more into like,
Yeah.
also I think everybody's an addict. I think that everybody in the entire world is addicted to something on some level.
I think especially these days.
Especially these days with social media, with instant gratification, like, and then once you get recovery, other addictions start popping up, Like, I thought once I got out of when I stopped drinking, I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna stop acting like a fucking lunatic." And then, like, the other addictions started, like, creeping up, and I was like, "Oh god, it's like fucking whack-a-mole," you know?
Same. Yeah.
It's fucking whack-a-mole.
I know.
But it drives you to be more self-aware, and
Yeah. It's a
I think.
it's it it's at least it's a better way to keep moving forward.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel I feel like a better, more grounded person since, like, getting sober and working with sponsors and having these conversations.
Same. I actually was just talking to somebody last night. I need to find a sponsor out here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went oh my god, so this week, went to what's been going on with me, I went to my sponsor's wedding, and the only person I knew at the wedding was her and sort of her husband, and I, like, adored them both, but I was like, "This is a fucking nightmare." Like, leading up to it, I was like, "I can't do this." Like, how I was like, I've okay, first of all, going to a wedding alone and sober where you don't fucking know a single person, and I was just dreading it. I was looking for every excuse to, like, not go, and I just was like, "No, this isn't about me. This isn't about me. Like, this is her day. She invited me. She's helped me through so much in my life. Like, just fucking show up." And it was the most anxiety I've had in a long time, just, like, having to go there and, like, not being able to drink, and you're just, like, by yourself, and I was standing there like a fucking doofus, just, like, on my phone looking at nothing, you know?
Yeah, yes.
It was so hard, but then I met some nice people, sat at a table, and had a good time, and made it through sober, and that was it.
Good. Yeah.
Fucking nightmare, though, going to a wedding alone,
Yeah, I don't know if I would.
right?
Yeah.
Like, suck
That's
my dick, it's so hard. Isn't
it's a
that
lot.
scary?
Yeah.
Ugh, God.
Yeah, I've never even been to a lot of
Me
weddings.
that was my second one, and the
Yeah.
first one that I went to, I was wasted and doing coke, like, in the alley.
I think that's why I was never invited.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, it's an interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at tea time, I fucking sold blow at my sister's wedding.
No way!
Yeah.
Who was doing blow at her wedding?
Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she doing blow?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like all of our friends are a bunch of,
Yeah.
festy wooks.
Okay, you said wook.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because somebody mentioned wook in tea time in one of my emails, and I was like, "What the fuck is a wook?" So we're gonna get to that,
Great.
and you can tell me what a wook is when we get there, I
Perfect.
guess, or you could tell me now.
I'll fill you in
Well,
then.
okay. It's so funny you brought that up because somebody said it like 10 times in this fucking email, and I was like, "What in the fuck is a goddamn wook?"
Oh, well, I guess I'll fill it in now and then we'll have the context. A
Okay.
wook is uh like it is like a drug seeking person at like a music festival.
Oh,
Yeah, in
okay.
like a music festival environment and they're kind of just there for the drugs.
Okay.
That's the kind of the way that I see a wook.
So,
And
like,
there's
anybody at
other
Burning
more
Man,
endearing like, wooks have kinda taken the word back.
they identify as wooks?
Yes. Yeah, I know I have in the past, and I know friends that do or
Stop,
have.
that's so
And,
dorky.
yeah, and so it's like but I think that in when it's a negative context, it's like they're drug seeking and they're just kinda have blinders on and they're just kinda mooching and
Yeah.
slithering through the festival.
Okay, but when you self-identify as a wook, you're like, "What's up, guys? I'm Lee, I'm a wook."
You're just like a dirty, festy dude having a good time fucking making it by, man.
Okay, okay. Great, well, that adds a lot. Now I understand what this email is gonna be about.
Yeah, now we'll
Got
all understand.
got it, okay.
That's funny. I wasn't even
Yeah,
gonna bring it up either, and so that's hilarious.
that's so funny, yeah, okay, so it's a wook world. I have never been a wook. I fucking hate festivals. I went to Coachella once, hated it, got sicker. I swear to God, I was like, I'm patient zero for COVID because that was like 6 years ago, and I was the sickest I've ever been. And everybody got so sick after me. And I was like, I bought like street Molly off of some guy, but I swear to God, it was just like watered down meth.
Oh, most Molly is meth.
Yeah, not a fucking fan. I can't believe you've done meth. What do you like more, meth or heroin?
I mean, it was different times in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the meth was just because the coke stopped working.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I'm afraid, like, I think I've said this before, but I never got into, like, that side of drug use. I stopped at coke, but I'm glad I never got into meth because I feel like that would have taken me the fuck out. I
It does.
love uppers.
I really.
Oh, I love uppers.
See, my first thing was Xanax.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boring. I hate
Oh, I loved it.
is Xanax an opioid?
No, it's a benzo. It's like anti-anxiety.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I can't. No, no, no.
It's a cousin though.
It's a cousin. We love a
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
I know, I wanna get back on, I've been dabbling with the idea of getting back on Adderall, not to take, like, daily.
I wouldn't.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a hard
Especially
thing.
if you love uppers.
I do, I love uppers.
I wouldn't.
But when I took Adderall, because I took Adderall for a long time, and I don't know if this was abuse or not, but I would take it, like, once every few weeks. I wasn't taking it, like, every day to get fucked up, but I would take it when I, like, wanted to, like, get high and do something.
Just drink a Red Bull.
It's not fun. It's not fun. Okay, well, maybe I won't get on Adderall. I know I'm like, "Is that just my, like, little addiction telling me that it's okay?"
100%.
Oh, no, see, you're a fucking 12-stepper. Now I don't like you being a 12-stepper. If you were just a regular guy, you'd be like, "Yeah, what's the problem?" We all know. We all speak the same language. So today on the tea time topic is rejection stories. People emailed in their stories about rejection. I got some really did I already say all of this? Anyway, whatever. They're great. I'll I guess I'll start off with my own rejection story. I've had a lot of rejection in my life. I actually haven't done a lot of rejecting. I'm always the rejectee. And I've rejected not a lot of people, because I'm codependent and I need validation. The first real, like, rejection that I remember from coming from a guy, I was in middle school. I was obsessed with this guy, Alex Peters. Shout out to Alex Peters. I think he follows me on Instagram, and, I was obsessed. Alex, if you ever hear this, you know that I was fucking just die hard in love with you. I was in the 6th or 7th grade. I was so obsessed with him, I wrote down his mother's license plate number in my diary. So I was like, "Gotta know where my man is at." And he was from England, obsessed. I'm an Anglophile, so, naturally obsessed. And I started, like, practicing speaking in an English accent so I could talk to him and impress him. And I wrote a love letter. I remember I was, like, writing love letters to him nonstop. He would never respond, and finally, I went up to him in real life on the playground, and I, like, gave him a love note that I had written him, and I gave it to him in an English accent. I was like, "Here you go, Alex. This is for you." And thinking that that would just woo him, and he looked at me dead in the eyes and ripped it up in front of my face and was like, I never he said, "Never in hell would I go out with you." He put hell in there, and I was just like, and, that was mortifying. That was a bad rejection. That was one of those haunting ones, you know?
Early middle school rejection
Middle school
is
rejection.
it's
I
tough.
was a tomboy. I was not hot, and he liked, the hot popular girl, Caitlin Colgo with the big tits,
Mhm.
straight hair. You know how, like, white girls have that, like, really, like some white girls have that, like, really straight, just, like, shiny hair.
Yep.
She was so hot, and I had, like, short tomboy curly hair and no tits, and he said, "No way in hell would I ever go out with you." Still think about it. So, Alex, fuck you. This podcast was just so I could come back here 15, 20 years later and say, "Hey, fuck you." You have a good one?
You did it.
I did it.
Yeah. I have one that, uh, is a so I went on a Tinder date, and it was as an adult. I was probably in my early 30s, so this is a few years ago.
Mhm.
And I go on a Tinder date, and we meet at a bar, and this girl is very very attractive, like kind of just at the cusp of my league, and I'm nervous.
Just at the cusp of your league. You mean like almost 2
Yeah,
out of your league?
like just if she was any hotter, it would have been like this is why
Yeah, okay,
I would
okay.
have just peed.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so um so
You pee when you see hot girls.
yeah, I just get nervous, I
He
break down,
pees.
I have anxiety, flop sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bring pants with me, yeah,
Yeah.
and I
He
just
doubles
get
up.
nervous, and, yeah, I wear, rubber underwear,
Nice.
and,
So
so just freeze, like a possum.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
it
did
just
that on the
freeze.
date, or you're just saying what you do?
I'm just saying what I do
Okay,
if
good.
a
You
girl's
didn't
too
freeze in
hot.
real life when you
No,
okay.
in real life, what I did was way overshare.
Oh, really? Were you
Yeah.
sober?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. No, I
Okay.
wasn't. And I way overshare, and I just jabber on and on and on, and I don't just word vomit at this woman, this
Uh-huh.
nice woman who was nice enough to come out with me.
Yeah.
And so before we can even finish the first drink, she just stops me mid jabber and says, "I'm gonna go."
No.
Yeah, and just gets up and walks away.
No!
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck. I mean, honestly, good for her.
I respect it.
I respect the fuck out of that. That's something I would never do.
Yeah.
Whoa, how did you feel?
I was stunned.
Were you mortified?
A little bit. A little bit, yeah.
Did you text her ever again?
No, we we rolled in the same circles, and I and one of the first podcasts I produced was as with her as a co-host, though.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, so now everything's okay.
Oh, everything's cool. Yeah, we actually talked about it on that show.
That is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But girls, fucking know your worth. You should. If you ever don't like a date, get up and walk the fuck away. Also, men, get up and walk away. None of us need to be wasting our time. You know? If you know, you know. I've wasted too much time on dates with people when I know I didn't like them. And when I drank, it was just like, I guess I'll just keep drinking and then eventually I'll like it. And that's how you end up in relationships with people for too long. Too long. Because you should have just walked away. But you know, we'll get into it now. We've done a nice amount of catching up. And I'll read some of these haunted and cursed fucking emails that I've gotten from you guys on rejection. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Rejection story. It's short but funny, at least I think. In college, I was hooking up with an NFL player, and he was apparently not used to getting rejected. We hung out on and off for a couple of months, but I eventually got tired of him being boring as fuck and super full of himself. Makes sense. So one day he showed up at my apartment and I wouldn't let him in. His response to text me that I was long in the face, crackhead looking ass, and that he looked through my underwear drawer, what the fuck, and saw all my shit stained underwear. They were period underwear, by the way. Anyway, that's my story. Love the podcast. Can't wait to listen. Okay, that guy's a fucking bitch, first of all. What a fucking bitch. He couldn't take you not being into him, so he called you a long-faced crackhead looking ass. And also, when the fuck did he have the time to go through your underwear? And also hilarious that he only brought that up when you decided to like reject him. So it's like he had been holding that in for a minute. He'd been holding in, "Oh, well, I saw your shit stained underwear. So you know what? Nasty bitch, fuck you." He didn't mind. He didn't mind the shit stained underwear until you rejected him. And by the way, we do all have period undies. So respect. I myself actually do have shit stained underwear. And talk about that just triggered a core memory. When the second time I had sex in my entire life, it was with this guy, Daniel, and I snuck into his house. We hooked up. I left my underwear at his, and I knew, for some reason, I knew that that underwear was like severely shit stained. And then I left it at his house, and I remember, first of all, why would you have sex with somebody when your underwear is shit stained? I don't know. I was 16. I thought, who cares? But I remember being mortified the next day, and I texted him being like, "Please throw my underwear away. Please don't even look at it. Please don't even look at it." And then we never hooked up ever again. So that's Lee didn't like that story,
No,
but
I'm trying to talk less. I feel like I talk too much.
okay. So Lee hated the story about me having. Okay,
Uh,
doesn't matter. The hard thing about like not doing this podcast by myself is that now I actually have to look at people's reactions.
I like I'm trying to talk less now. I feel like I overtalked in the
No, you're
beginning.
so fine. So the next story, we love. What did you think about that? Did you
Um, eh, yeah, I mean, I would have done the same thing. I just would have been
you would have
too.
called the girl a long faced crackhead?
Oh no, I would your story. I would have
Oh,
never talked to that person again. I would have just been too mortified to
right.
ever speak to. Calling her along. That just sounds like some petty bullshit.
That sounds like some narcissist bullshit
It sounds like
for her ego.
he was scared of rejection, so
Hmm.
he rejected first.
Yeah, and had to tell her that he went through her underwear, which a fucking weirdo creep does.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
next story. Um, this is actually from a friend of mine, which is fucking hilarious. And all right, he wrote in, a guy I was dating for like 2 months who was a total bottom refused to let me fuck him because he said his hemorrhoids were so big he was worried that it would hurt. So I would buy him fiber pills to heal his hemorrhoids, and I would call him every day to remind him to take them. And then after 2 months of stringing me along, he eventually told me that he just wasn't that into me and he was lying about the hemorrhoids. That's that's a long time to be lying about hemorrhoids, and I'm honestly surprised that it took you that long to find out. Like, especially as a gay man, like, aren't you at least eating his ass or like, huh? Yeah, he just straight up was lying about having big hemorrhoids. And I like that you also were like, "No, that's okay with me." And you were calling him
Yeah,
to remind him, like, "Take your fiber pills."
really into this guy.
Yeah.
You were like trying to take care of it.
You were trying to take care of him
Yeah.
and his big fat fake hemorrhoids. Okay. So we've got the next story. Here we go. Hey, Gabby. I've got a couple rejection stories. Some are kind of risque. You know, I love a risque story. But here's one that I will never forget. I kind of did the rejection myself though, so hopefully that counts. Definitely counts. I went on a date with a naval officer that was 2 years younger than me. We matched on Tinder, a big mistake already. We met sorry, you're a naval officer. We matched on Tinder and he was trying to convince me that he's mature. Red flag, second red flag. Mature and not like all the other guys here in San Diego. Okay, all of the red flag you've said all of the red flags, especially being from San Diego. Come on. Now, a bit of a backstory. Since my dating preference is a little limited, I'm more on the coast, so I match with 90% Navy when I'm home. Then when I'm inland where my job is, I match with Marines. So the normal people get filtered out. Sadly, or don't really reach me. So, yeah, you're confined to dating Marines and Navy guys, which I'll hold my tongue. Thank you for your services, though, men and women. Anyway, his name was Patrick, but he liked going by Pat. Kind of reminds me of my old lady neighbor, but sure. Pat was my grandma's name, so that is a very old woman name. Patricia. Patricia Beale. May her soul rest in Mormon heaven. She was a Mormon. And okay, so you're dating my grandma Pat. He told me to meet him at a sushi bar where we can get ramen and sake. I showed up looking my finest because I had the chance to finally go out on the town and I wanted to look good for myself more than him. Yes, girl. I meet him at the door and he's your typical I just rolled out of college with my BMW and daddy's wallet sort of guy. Eh. During the entire date, he was mostly talking about himself, Lee. Also, men love to do this. Man, you guys love to fucking chat about yourselves and never ask us anything. Maybe because you're all nervous. Lee's looking at the ground. Um, take notes. So he's mostly talking about himself, his parents, who are also Navy officers, and how much of an alpha male he was since he needed a woman who could match his energy. Ugh, dude. First of all, fucking, if you're an alpha male, if you need somebody to match your energy, that means you're talking about a fucking alpha female. And I don't think actual alpha males want to date alpha females. I think alpha males probably want to date more submissive women because an alpha woman is not gonna fucking like no an alpha woman is like gonna kick your fucking ass like fucking let's go like I don't know I can't with I think correct me if I'm wrong but I don't think this guy knows what he's fucking talking about. I need a woman who can match my energy. What's your fucking energy? What's your sitting around and watching the game? Drinking fucking beers with your bros. I need a woman who can fucking drink with me. Shut up. Match my energy. What do you do? What do you do? Okay. Match my energy. I bet your energy fucking sucks. Am I being judgmental? I don't care. I just down with the patriarchy. This you will find out soon how much I am anti-men. Thank you. But that's why I like Lee because I can tell that he's into this. Okay. So he's an alpha male who needs you to manage his energy. Then he went on to my tattoos. Now, this is strange territory, but kind of familiar since most guys always ask about my tattoos and if I'm getting any more in the near future. The answer is always yes. Yes, girl. I said yes. I am looking towards completing both of my arms, legs, and stomach in the future. And when I get older, I want my neck tattooed next. He held back a little. I can see it in his eyes as he tried registering that I am not the match he wanted. And I sat in my seat, happy as a fucking clam, because this dude was condescending. Yeah, yeah, there's that alpha female energy, and he can't take it. He quickly moved on to another topic, and the night went on with him trying to keep pouring my drinks and talking more about himself. Once we were done with our date, he asked to go on a walk around the block to settle our food and alcohol we just drank. I said, sure, why not, since it's just a walk and my pepper spray was in hand and just in case. Honestly, I forgot what we talked about or if it was silent again. While if I was silent again listening to Captain America talk more shit out of his mouth. Captain America. But I remember we stopped across the street and he told me why he picked this restaurant and why we stopped at this apartment complex's door. His initial words, I picked this restaurant because it was right across the street from my complex. Okay. Would you like to come in? Right away, I knew this guy was a one night stand and I said, no, thank you, and started walking away. He kept pressuring me since I was slightly intoxicated and he was pushy about it. Men, I think a lot of you do this and you don't know what you're doing, or maybe you do. Anyway, he was pushy about it. I'm a pretty small lady as it is, so I hate when guys manhandle me. So I just took out my pepper spray, sprayed the shit out of him after he was being forceful, and then ran to my car. After that night, he instantly called me a bitch and blocked me from everything. LOL. Never again, Pat. Okay, fuck you, Pat. Fuck
Yeah.
off, Pat. I love that you pepper sprayed him, girl. Go the fuck off.
Yeah.
For me, I am again, like I'm so like coda people pleaser that I would have maybe now I would be different, but like more in my youth, I would have been like, oh, okay, I'll just come in for another drink and hang out with you. Cause I don't know how to stand up for myself. So good the fuck for you for going off. Good for you. And also, man, don't pressure women into coming inside your house or in them. So next one. Hey, Gabby, longtime listener, first time caller. My story is about an awkward first date. I had a breakfast date with this guy. That has to be a red flag. What do you think about a breakfast date? Is that a red flag?
You know, I wouldn't do it.
It's kind of right.
At lunch, late lunch,
Lunch, yeah,
yeah, breakfast is weird. Like anything before noon
is
is
weird.
like me time.
Right.
Yeah.
So to go on a, because I was at first when I read that, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, actually, no, because like I don't want to go sit with somebody at 9 a.m. who's like not my, like a long term relationship person,
It's very intimate.
right? To like
Yeah.
go sit with somebody while they eat eggs and coffee at like 9:30, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So breakfast date is weird.
It's like kinda groomy. It's like
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, I wanna catch you more vulnerable."
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. So yeah, breakfast date. Yeah, your mind isn't really up yet. You haven't,
Yeah,
done what you need to do,
it's
your morning routine.
manipulative.
Yeah, okay, manipulative.
Yeah.
Threw in the M word. So that has to be a red flag. We had a nice meal and I engaged with him in meaningful conversation, even though I had already decided I wasn't interested. This is when, as a woman, we need to get up and walk away. But we are not um trained to do so. I don't like the word trained, but we're not encouraged to do that as women to stand up for ourselves and walk away. So you decided you weren't interested, but you hung out because you're being a nice girl. Because I thought that that was the nice thing to do. See, there it is. Nice. We're always too worried about being nice rather than being honest. Look at people when they talk to you, respond thoughtfully to their question, make jokes referencing things they said earlier to show that you've been listening. It's like she took notes out of like how to be a human. Like she was like, okay, these are the right things to do. After we had two coffees and had eaten, he asked me to go for a walk with him. Two fucking coffees? Hell no. I would be shaking and trying not to shit. I would be sweating and shaking and being like, I gotta go. That's too much. Two coffees? And I'd eaten and asked me to go for a walk with him. I didn't have an excuse. And at this point, I think I was trapped in my fawn response. So I agreed. What is a fawn response? Maybe she meant to say something else. I don't know. So you were trapped in your maybe fake response. So whatever, you agreed. I understand this. I was definitely running out of social capital and barely holding conversation. Turns out when you have to work that hard for a conversation, eventually you break down. He tried to hold my hand. First date, 12 p.m., broad daylight. Okay, now that, do you think that's weird?
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
First date?
For the whole hand holding is like after marriage. Like hand holding is more intimate than
After
kissing.
marriage? Are you a Christian? What?
Hand holding is like sweaty hand holding is like
Yeah.
more intimate than anything else.
Okay. And after, yeah, I guess on a breakfast date after two coffees and a bagel, holding hands is
That's a sweaty hand.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, that's fucking weird. First date, 12 PM, broad daylight. I screamed. I screamed and pulled my hand away before I even knew what I was doing. I love that you fucking screamed. Who screamed? I mean, that's so funny. I felt bad, but there was absolutely no fucking way I was holding his hand. He looked hurt, but apologized, and we walked back to where the cars were parked. Can you imagine what a long walk that was back to the cars? What a fucking tedious interaction. I would be trying so hard to make this better though, because that's always what I do. I'm like, no, I need to make them feel better. So I'm sorry. I screamed. Oh my God. He texted me that afternoon asking to see me again. I spent the next 12 hours drafting a kind but firm rejection text that never got a reply. I don't blame him, but I think that says more about him than me. It does. P.S. I think I'm autistic. Okay. I like that you spent 12 hours doing this. And it also, you saying P.S. you're autistic does track going back to the first paragraph where you were saying that you have to like remember how to do like social cues,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a good point. And I like that. I just started watching the second season of Love on the Spectrum, and that is a fucking have you watched it?
Some of it.
It's so good.
Yeah, I have trouble with reality TV, but I heard that
It's a
was a good one.
different kind of show.
Yeah.
It's so pure and so interesting to see how people on the spectrum interact with each other, because it is just like if they're uncomfortable, they're like, I don't know what to say and I need to go.
It's very relatable.
It's very relatable in the most like core human way, but
Yeah.
also so cringy because when there's not like alcohol and like it's not fueled by like sex and weirdness, it's really interesting to just see how people interact with each other on like a very like human level. I don't know. It's always funny too on these dates with these people, with these autistic people. They're always checking in with each other to say, "Hey, I like you very much. Do you think that you like me?" And they'll, respond with something very honest like, "I think that I could like you, but I don't know right now." And it's like, "Whoa! That's crazy." Okay. Um, oh God. Okay. This one is called The Time My Boyfriend Got a Full Moon, Rejection Story. Okay, okay, Gabby, I'm gonna keep this simple and sweet for you. I'm sending it in because I quite literally cannot get this girl's pussy and asshole burned out of my fucking head. My boyfriend posted a picture of us on his Instagram story, to which a random Tinder gal from the past replied, I would have dated you. My boyfriend and I were laughing, like, what the fuck? So he responds, that was out of pocket, saying that under my girlfriend's picture. To which this girl replies, you didn't give a fuck about even meeting me. About even meeting me, you just don't know what you're missing. That is unhinged. And proceeds to send a video, butt ass naked, spread fucking eagle on her hands and knees from the back. I could see this girl's fucking cervix, and Lord bless her heart, she must have gotten a wax or something. My boyfriend hasn't seen such a put together pussy in a while. Know what I mean? LOL, no shade to myself. Okay, girl, so you fucking hairy. We get it. You hairy and sloppy, no shade, no tea. But it was a video taken by another dude of him playing with her asshole and then fucking her. Talk about fucking cringe. Now every day I wake up and wonder what she's doing with her life. She sent him a video. She said, you never even gave me the fucking chance to meet you. You don't know what you're missing. Sends you. You do know what you're missing. You know exactly what you're missing. She just showed you everything that you're missing. And that's a clean pussy and a cervix and wow. The audacity.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Some guy playing with her asshole, then fucking her, and he sends it to this guy. The internet truly reveals how mentally ill people are and how much they need help.
Yeah.
If there's one thing the internet has done for us, it's revealed how fucking sick people are.
Have you ever had to pull back on the internet and be like, you're about to unleash your crazy,
all the time, but
and you have to, like, be like, "Oh, no, no, no."
yes, but I've unleashed my crazy online, and now I have to, like, constantly check myself to do better.
Yeah, same.
And people used to love when I was, like, chaotic, and now I'm trying to be less chaotic. And, like, a couple years ago, when I was going through breakups, I would just fucking, like, post and post and post and be like, "Fuck this guy, this is what he did to me." And, you can't do that anymore.
Now you put a gauge on it.
Yeah, now I know, how to maintain integrity a little bit. Okay.
I
What are
think
we
it's a good lesson.
We're at, we're 46 minutes. You guys, we're gonna go a little long today. I like to keep this podcast at about 45 minutes, but we've got some good stories, and I wanna read them. And you guys have taken the time to write out some real good stories.
Yeah.
Hi, Gabby. This is my favorite rejection story that I always tell people to make them feel better about their own rejections. When I was 22, 10 years ago at this point, I had a whirlwind romance with a dude I met while waiting in line to get into a dive bar. As you can see, we're already off to a great start. That's kind of fun. After hanging out with him for a whole 2 weeks, we decided to take an 18-hour road trip together. We had an amazing romantic time. I was in love or some shit. Shortly after we got back, he had to go on tour. For the sake of the story, we'll call him Phil. This is not his real name, but anyway, Phil was a tour manager for some band I can't remember the name of anymore. I think the red flag count at this point in the story is at about 3 for anyone keeping track. I had no issue with the idea of him being gone for a month and a half. We hadn't had a conversation about what we were, but it still felt like we were in a good place, and I was trying to be the cool girl. Don't try and be the cool girl, ladies. Unfortunately, I have tried for so many men to be the cool girl, and we always end up getting fucked in the ass. Literally, literally, when you're trying to be the cool girl, you get fucked in the ass, and it's never good. A few weeks into him being gone, I had sent him approximately 10,000 text messages and never got a single response. I then got decidedly less cool and started calling and emailing him. Not sure how I even got his email. That's so funny. You went on the fucking hunt. I eventually took the hint and moved on. By that, I mean I went out and got wasted most nights and slept with my ex a couple of times. We've all been there, sweetie. About a month later, I was walking home from a friend's birthday party and heard someone calling my name. I turned around and it was Phil. He had scooped me up in his arms and said, "Oh my God, where have you been?" I said. "What do you mean, where have I been? I've been trying to get a hold of you for almost 2 months," he said. Oh, so okay, you said, this is confusing. Okay, so he said, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I was attacked by fire ants on the first day of tour. I dropped my phone and smashed it and didn't get any of your messages." He was attacked by fire ants, dropped his phone and smashed it.
Aren't fire ants, like, in the ground? Like, where how would your phone smash?
Also, would you just not get a new phone for a month of being on tour if you're a tour manager?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get any of your messages. I missed you so much. I said, I said, "I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I missed you too." And then brought him home with me. Not, "I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" "No, babe. I'm still pretty traumatized from all those fire ants." Get the fuck out. I felt humiliated. Oh, fuck. Okay. The next day, so you brought him home with you. The next day, I went to my retail job where a lot of my coworkers knew Phil. I was folding and unfolding clothes and talking shit with one of my coworkers and mentioned how it seemed like Phil and I were back on again. He looked confused, and I explained the totally reasonable thing that happened with the fire ants. My coworker said, "Phil got back together with his ex-girlfriend the day after you guys got back from that road trip." So they went on an 18-hour road trip together, and then he got back with his ex-girlfriend. I thought you knew. Turns out Phil and his ex-girlfriend were also still together when we ran into each other the previous night. I felt humiliated. Phil eventually moved away, but the joke about the fire ants was still a fan favorite amongst my friends. That's so fucking funny. And of course, like, you were reasoning with yourself. You're like, "No, it makes sense that he got stung by fire ants." Like, duh. And your friends are like, "No, are you fucking stupid?" And you're like, "No, I'm not stupid. It makes sense." Like, that's what we do. We make up excuses. We believe these stupid fucking excuses that people give us. Love is blind. Um, 3 years later, when I was working as a bartender, Phil and a few friends walked through the door of my bar. Wild. I felt like I was seeing a ghost, but he seemed strangely unsurprised to see me. He and his friend sat down at the bar directly in front of me. I flirted with him pretty hard, just being honest. Once he was a few drinks in, he kept reaching across the bar and trying to hold my hand. I shook him off. At some point, when I came out from behind the bar, he grabbed me by the waist and said, "I'm so sorry for how I treated you. I still think about you all the time. It was the biggest mistake of my life." Okay, fuck off, Phil. I didn't feel creeped out by this at all. I wanted to forgive him, grab his face, and make out with him right there in my own place of work. Instead, I poured he and his friends another round of beers, comped their entire check, slammed it down in front of them, and said, "I took care of your drinks. I'm going to smoke, and I need you gone by the time I get back." Oh, bitch. That is fucking, oh, chef's kiss. I have never been a badder bitch than I was in that moment. No, you haven't. They were gone when I came back. He continued to text me for the next several months. I never responded. The end. Stay nasty. That's fucking sick. That is a fucking good ass story. Wow. Thank you that. Thank you for that. Queen. That's so good. Let's see. We have okay, here we go. We've got our last one. We got a few more, but we'll end it on this, and I want to get
We'll save them. We'll do a comp episode later.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. We were talking about Wooks earlier. This is the
okay.
Wook story.
Oh, yeah, we got to.
Okay. Hey, Gabby. Love the lips, girl. Keep it up. Thank you. Thank you. I love them too. I'm going to keep getting them bigger. Actually, I went to get them like massaged this week because you have to get them massaged. And I was like, what if I want to put a little bit more in right now? And she's like, you have to wait a month because if I put any more filler in right now, it'll start coming out of the puncture holes. And I was like, I didn't know that could happen. That's disgusting. Okay. So here's a little story about rejection. Probably the hardest I've ever had to reject somebody, which for the record sucks both ways. Rejecting someone or being the rejected person. It all sucks. Yes, that is true. It fucking sucks. I went to a festival in Costa Rica years ago while high on some acid. I met this guy. I had literally been on one for a few days. But there was something so sweet about this guy. My dumbass was like, let's get married. His dumbass said yes. Because let's be honest, I'm a 10. He was like a 5 or a 6 with his matted dreads. That's on me. I can see it all clearly now. That is on you. That is on you. But at one point, I used to think that white guys with dreads were so hot. When I was like 16 and like a diehard Sublime fan, I was like, yeah, white guys with dreads are fucking so hot. It's so embarrassing. I remember I wanted dreads at some point, which is heinous to admit. Anyway, we go through the fucking production of trying to date each other. You can imagine, like, it's probably all like passionate, and they're like, "We met at this festival." Anyway, I moved my shit to his town. We are both in Northern California, where he says I can stay with him. Turns out he's the guy on the couch. Yeah, he sure is, isn't he? This fucking Wook said he lived somewhere. He didn't pay rent and he invited me to live there with him. Oh my God, fucking mortifying. I basically hung out in the Wook temple for a few months to see how this variety of folks lived. The Wook temple. Now we know what it means. And to see how the variety of folks lived. And I bet it was not good. I bet you it was not good. Nobody did anything. I bet you they all smelled. There was one shower and some like communal eating bullshit in the kitchen.
Stale feet.
For sure.
Stale feet.
And everybody's just like, no, this is the way that that people that are free lives, that are free. Money is a construct. Like those kinds of people, you know?
Yeah.
No, this is how we do it. And let me say for the record, I am not a Wook. Anyway, Lee's a Wook. He said he was. Anyway, he was a loser and I was planning my exit. Finally, on the day I started moving all of my stuff into storage, he was crying and pulled out an engagement ring from his pocket. I've been carrying this around, waiting for the right time. Oh, fuck. I was running. Fucking Wooks. The diamond was small. Oh, yeah. As if that rejection wasn't enough, he came in me like 2 months earlier when I had told him not to, got me pregnant, and I immediately had an abortion. 2 days after the abortion, we went to Burning Man. Girl, it sounds like you are a fucking Wook. It was a hell of a week, but I was secretly out there doing hella rituals to leave him, heal, walk away, which is exactly what I did. The end. He still emails me, and called my parents' house the other night to see if I was home. What the fuck? They live in Connecticut. And that's the story of a wook.
That's aggressive to like, I to think that it's okay to invite a woman back to the couch
Mhm.
you're living on.
Come stay on the couch, yeah, it's my buddies.
How are you even sleeping on the couch?
'Cause
I
it's fucking free love, baby. Gotta get with it.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
Congrats, girl. Glad you made it out. Also, if there's not another example, if that's not another example of why abortion needs to be legal, well, there it is. There it is. Abortion, that there right there, that is the poster woman for why abortion should be completely and utterly legal. You get pregnant by a fucking wook after you tell him not to come in you and he lives on a couch, abortion. So don't fucking come for me with your pro-life bullshit. Okay. We have to get out of here. But I would like to I did tell people to send me some things on Instagram. Let's see if somebody sent me anything interesting. Um, uh, let's see. Let's see. Somebody says my ex in here. I'm not gonna say his name, but Bleep Bleep was sleeping with me while you dated. I feel horrible. I didn't know. I like if this is true, I'm not surprised. And also, this does not phase me. This girl is telling me that she was sleeping with my boyfriend while I was with him. This was like 6 years ago. About 6 years ago. Yeah, I dated this guy. Not surprised. He fucked everybody. And I always got some kind of weird vaginal infection from him because he was sleeping with everybody. But I was like, no, it's fine. I love him. Blah. So yeah, sorry, girl. We were probably sharing the same BV, which is bacterial vaginosis. He slathered uh, I can't say where he worked because that will give out who it is, but he slathered blank coconut oil all over my body. He was so on brand, hashtag basic, which does make me think that is a true story because he was very into coconut oil. So sorry, girl. Sorry for us both. Light and love and light, love and light. And okay. You know what? Somebody said I just moved 5,000 miles away to teach in Spain. Congrats. That's pretty cool. Um and that's it. You know what? We're gonna close on that. I hope you're having a fun time teaching in Spain. Shout out to my ex-boyfriend and this girl that he cheated on me with, that we were swapping the pussy juices, and, love the stories today. Loved them. Tune in for another episode next we could do
We'll
next week.
see. We'll see what we can end up making happen.
We'll see what we can end up making happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Dates,
Dates for
stand up.
stand up. I am in Portland this weekend, Thursday through Sunday at Portland Helium with Felipe Esparza. 6 shows.
So I don't know if it'll come out. I think it'll come out the last day of that.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So you
So
guys will miss that by the time this is out.
do you have anything past that?
Yes, I'm going to be at El Cid on the Titty Committee, which is the name of a show, on October 7th. And that'll be fun. I have some other dates. Can't think of them right now, but if you're in the LA area and you want to go to a stand-up show Thursday night at El Cid, I will be there. It'll be a good show. And thank you guys for tuning in. Very excited about the new setup. And again, love your stories. And Lee, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Have a good week, guys. Stay fucking nasty.